You are now tuned in to the motherfucking Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and this is episode 153.
It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby. It's the Ambition Hour, baby.
Have with the long notes.
We have to record that. That's my last one for the year. So I gotta make,
it is.
I gotta make it count this time, Claudia. I gotta make it count.
Yes, sir. It's funny because this episode, it's the first one. It's the last one of the year, but it's the first one we drop of 2021.
Oh, damn, that's kind of crazy.
That is crazy, right? So, hello, everybody. Welcome. Yeah, welcome yet again to another beautiful episode of the Ambition Hour podcast. I am your host, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves, and I am joined by my lovely co-host. / brother / audiovisual / rapper / artist / everything. My little brother Jav 600 in the building.
We are here today.
And like you guys heard a little bit earlier, well, just now I said it. We are actually recording this episode on the last day of the year. On New Year's Eve.
We're working on holidays.
We're working on holidays. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I gotta talk to the boss, man.
You do gotta talk to the boss.
There gotta be a union. Something gotta go.
She is tripping.
Ain't today a holiday? Like,
no, I think tomorrow's a holiday, so I think we're fine. I think under regulations, I don't think we really have to say anything to her.
I'm gonna call OSHA on her dumb ass.
Okay, I'm sure she'll handle that. Damn, that girl who hosts the Ambition Hour podcast making us work on this day. Well, I wouldn't be spending it any other way anyway.
Facts.
Because what the fuck else I'm gonna do? Like, yeah, it's the last day of the year. I know I did my the last day of the year things, cleaned, change your sheets, wash your clothes, etc. Like, you always got to do that.
Ready for the new year.
Ready for the new year,
Claudia?
I am ready for the new year. I'm excited for the new year.
What?
2021.
I just read your text message. Is this true?
Yes. You really?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who do not know, because Javier just read a message that I sent to him earlier, and it is the news that rapper MF Doom has passed away.
Oh my Lord.
At the age of 49. I haven't really seen what the cause of the death was. I have seen that he has been dead since October. So that's a little weird to find out today that, he has transitioned. But 2020 has not let up. We have lost a lot of people this year. A lot of people in hip hop, I have to say. And so to just hear that news and even feel Hav's energy right now that he's just found out about it, it's very sad. And I just want to give my condolences to his family, of course, his fans, and also highlight the fact that he's just always been one of those artists in hip hop that you kind of like have to know. If you're a hip hop listener and like you like to listen to hip hop, then you know who MF Doom is and what he has done for the culture. So again, R.I.P. Let's get a little moment of silence for him. Yeah, so our condolences to his family. And if you have lost a loved one this year or a friend or anything, last year, our heart goes out to you. And it's
been a rough year, man.
It has been a rough year.
We lost a lot of people, in the beginning of the year. What was Kobe?
Yeah.
Pop, and Keem Vaughn.
Yeah.
It's just been a lot, man. There's too many to name almost. I don't want to leave anyone out.
It's a lot of people because we also lost Chadwick Boseman this year. We lost Tiny, also known as Debo. We lost John Witherspoon. I feel like we lost John Singleton this year as well.
I think you're right.
Yeah, we just lost a lot of people this year, and it's just been very sad. I didn't want to start the episode like that, but I do believe that it is important to definitely get that out of the way. Not like that, but like, you know, let's talk about it now, because it's something that we were going to be speaking of anyway. I'm going to go ahead and transition into the gratitude portion of the show, and we do this each and every single episode, and it is where we say what we are grateful for. I want to start with Jav. Jav, what are you grateful for this week?
I mean, this week, what I'm grateful for, I'm going to try to be a little different than usual, because usually we say some shit about life and about growth and something like that. What I'm going to say this week is that I'm grateful for communication. For communication with the people that I love, you know, the people that I have love for. Communicating whatever is necessary to say, and just being 100% real and genuine with a person. And also being a person who wants to articulate themselves in a way that is clear and sharp and concise for the listener or whoever I'm speaking with. So communication, very important. If you're not communicating with your loved ones, I suggest you start this year. Go ahead and do it. That person, I feel like I heard this on talk radio once. That person, you know, to start a conversation, that person is probably waiting for you to start the conversation. So go ahead and be that person that start that conversation. But what about you? What about you, Claudia? What are you grateful for this week?
I am grateful for... you know what? I just write so many, like I wrote my list down of what I was grateful for, and something that I'm extremely grateful for, and I don't hope this doesn't sound like corny or cliche or anything, but I am grateful for 2020. Like I am
everything you learned and shit. I'm
extremely grateful. You know, the reason why I'm grateful for 2020 is because it taught me that I actually do love myself. And I'm always so hard. Yeah, like I'm always so hard on myself about that. Like I'm always just like, no, my relationship with myself is like super important to me, etc., etc. My wants, my needs, my boundaries, everything needs to be respected, etc., etc. And this year I felt like that was put to the test. Like my self-love was put to the test because there was so many different moving parts in my life that occurred. And if I wouldn't have had self-love and had already had it, it could have consumed me in a very bad way. So I'm just very grateful for that. So I say I'm grateful for 2020, but the reason why I'm grateful for that is because I found out something about myself that I didn't necessarily know, and something that I'm always hard on myself about. It's something that we preach on that I preach on the podcast all the time is, you know, self-love and loving yourself. And, you know, I found out this year that I really did do that. I worked as hard as I could to fall in love with myself and continue to do so. And I did that. So I think that's super important.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to steal your answer.
Yeah, so it was just great. So I would like to hear, I mean, if you're listening to the episode, it's already 2021, but go ahead and drop in the comments what you're grateful for this week. You know, and this week, it's funny because in this week, we're ending a year and starting a new year in the same week. So, I mean, that's usually how it happens anyway. Like, this is nothing new. But for the sake of an episode,
it only happens once a week. I mean, once a year, and that one time a week.
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to give a big shout out to the Ambition Hour podcast.
Oh, damn. I like to shout out myself. I like it, Claudia.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to the Ambition Hour podcast because we literally dropped an episode every single week in 2020.
Every week.
We never missed a week, ever. The whole entire year, we dropped an episode every single Saturday. So if you've listened to us and you have been listening to us, I appreciate you guys so much. Honestly, like I can sit here and like thank myself for the reason of this being like a weekly thing, but I also cannot forget that one of the reasons why I do it so much is because I want other people to see what is possible. I want people to see what you can do if you remain consistent, and the quality that happens when you remain consistent, how it just gets better.
Talk to him, Claudia.
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, just thank you to people who support us as well, because if it wasn't for your guys' support, honestly, like I would still do this because I just love doing it, but I just feel like the support of people just makes it better. So I just want to say thank you to that. Just thank you to the Ambition Hour podcast, Jav. Thank you so much.
All day.
audio visual for the, every single episode. You've been a guest as well, and it's just been 2020 was just a great year. We did say last week how we were going to speak on, our favorite albums, etc. And so I kind of have mine ready.
Let's go.
I just wanted to go ahead and point out some of the albums that just like sparked me. I have Pray for Paris, Burden of Proof. I have Nas's album. Is King's Disease.
King's Disease.
I also have Big Sean's Detroit 2. I have Eternal Take.
Uzi.
I said it right. The Freddie Gibbs project, which was Alfredo. Also the Tiana Taylor project, which I really liked the album. I was actually listening to it. It's funny because the Tiana Taylor that album reminds me of different parts of my life because it was like during the summertime that it dropped. I think it was like the end of June or something like that. And I just remember where I was and what I was doing at that time. And it's just really cool to like listen to albums and just like get that feeling. You know what I mean? So shout out to Tiana Taylor for that. I also wanted to point out Cleo's Soul, which she also dropped a really good album this year. And I want to thank Joe Budden for reminding me that she dropped a good album this year because it was a really good one, and it's called Rose in the Dark. So shout out to Cleo Soul. Division also dropped a project this year, which I really enjoyed. It wasn't one that I listened to like crazy, but it was an album that I really did enjoy. I really do like Division. So shout out to them for dropping an album this year. I put Tiana Taylor 2 times on this list, so bear with me. I also put Chloe and Halle.
Did you like that album then?
I might have liked it just a little, you know what I mean? I put Chloe and Halle because it's a great project. Ungodly Hour. I also put the Brent Fayez. I feel like this is kind of the list that I said last week, but now it's just more written. I also wanted to mention What Else Is New dropped this year as well. So that was one of the better albums of this year. So I did want to mention that project. And I also wanted to say Kehlani. Oh my God, Ty Dolla $ign. There's just so many different albums that dropped this year. And I'm saying all of these because honestly, guys, like I can just think about as being a creative and having to drop your project in a pandemic where you can't go to do your what is it? The press run. You can't really see the fans. You can't do the tours. But then all these people dropped really good projects and they did such a great job. And I'm so very proud of them. So shout out to them.
Hell yeah.
I know you have like a couple of projects that you would probably want to mention. So go ahead and feel free to let them know.
Yeah, basically almost everything that Claudia said. Of course, I have like things like The Weeknd, that album, which I think was called what the fuck was this album called? The Weeknd After Hours.
Oh yeah.
That album, Nab's album that he came out with. Actually, I think he came out with 2 projects this year. Jack Harlow's album was on heavy rotation. Drake's album was on heavy rotation, also as well as Don Toliver's album. And of course, I don't think Claudia said Lil Baby, My Turn.
Oh yes. Sorry.
Wanna. Man, and I actually wanted to, as we was looking back on this, and like Claudia was saying, we probably said half of this last episode. It's a little bit more concise, but Bryson, man, I wanted to take a note from this because I remember when this album came out, I had to kind of like take a little break from it. Claudia had me in my feelings. I remember you kind of saying the same thing. So
I did.
Bryson, congrats, man. I know they hoe you a little bit on that album, but we personally here at the Ambition Hour, we fucked with it and we enjoyed it. Guad Dad dropped a pair of single, like so many singles is Embezzle to name one. I was definitely having that in the mix. Well, you said
shout out to, we said City Girls last week. Meg, Saweetie dropped some songs as well. I know Mulatto as well.
And I got Bad Bunny here on
Bad Bunny,
on
yes.
top,
oh my God, yo hago lo que me da la gana.
And but I like the other one after that
the
one,
most recent one,
the most recent one,
or the one that la que no iban a salir.
No, the other one, the tour, Tour del Mundo.
Okay.
The one that's like set in the future, I guess, or
yes.
That one's really good.
We had a great year in music.
And then of course, Saint John's. I think that album was really good to me. So that's on rotation, and I expect it to be in the next couple of months. Yeah. Any song, Claudia? Was there an album from 2019 that got a little bit more play in 2020?
Definitely. I did mention it last week. I said the Tyler the Creator project. I also mentioned No, I think it was just that album. But another one that I actually ended up listening to the most was The Gift by Beyonce, like the whole Black is King soundtrack, I guess, or the Animal Kingdom, the Lion King soundtrack.
Same thing.
That was just a project that I really listened to a lot this year that dropped last year, well, in 2020. So that was really great. I have my song of the year, and like I just said, it's my song of the year, and it is Baby Girl by Chloe and Halle. And I had to pick the song because it just, I love the message and I love what it says. Like the whole thing about like the whole baby girl. And it's like, do it for the girls all around the world.
Play hitting notes for y'all and everything. Damn.
I just love that. And
who else?
Because something that, the reason why I love that song is because I want to be like a light for women everywhere, that they can do anything that they want. It doesn't necessarily have to be podcasting, but something that is going to just move them in a way that's going to just change and, just create so many different possibilities and purposes for so many different women. So that's one of the reasons why that song is my song of the year.
What's the album of the year? If you want, you could break it. Rap. What's rap album of the year and what is R&B album of the year?
But this is for me.
Yeah,
it's
for you.
Not like it's not.
Oh, I did want to mention that Meet the Woo 2 came out 2020, and I don't know.
He dropped 2 projects this year.
Yeah.
Then.
So, man, I almost want to. I want to say right now. I'm gonna say right now. Shake the Room for me is gonna encapsulate embody 2020 for me.
That's a good song.
So I would say
song.
that's my song of the year. But go ahead. What do you think as far as album? Well, whatever you gonna say.
Albums as far as hip hop.
EP of the year is the Jack Boys, the Travis Scott and Cactus Jack, that whole collective. That was last year's though. Never mind.
Yeah. Damn.
I was still banging that shit out of that thing because it's still on my top here.
I don't want to sound like the other projects weren't good. I just feel like Eternal Atake was a really good like it was a really well-rounded project. Like you got a little bit of everything, and because I look at Pray for Paris and Burden of Proof and I think of the artist, and then I think of King's Disease and I think of the artist, and then I think of Detroit 2 and I think of the artist. But if I want to encapsulate what 2020 was as far as the list of albums that I mentioned, I would say Eternal Atake was the one that I would be like, oh, wow, 2020. You know what I mean? As far as R&B, I would have to go with...
I'm riding with Chloe and Halle on that one.
I'm riding with Chloe and Halle as well. Because the Tiana Taylor one was a really, really good project, but... there's just a different variety of vocals with Chloe and Halle.
My bad, Claudia, not to step on you, but no, actually, that is my female R&B album of the year.
Oh, who's the male is?
Will be The Weeknd, of course, because I mean, bro, I'm looking at the numbers, bro. I only use Apple Music, so Apple Music tell me what was my favorite. So
you're funny.
So that, and then for hip hop. And this is weird. This is, some people might say Don Toliver is in hip hop. This is what they got the album listed as. So fuck it, I'm gonna keep it as that. Keep it as simple as that. And I'm gonna say that he had the album of 2020 to me. And that might not be a popular opinion, but I like it. And I think it's cool. And we have so much new up and coming dudes, new guys. It's just not the Coles, the Drakes, and all that stuff. So. That's why I'm gonna ride with Don Toliver, Heaven or Hell. It's funny because him and The Weeknd, they were smart because actually we're gonna go on the road together. So I probably would have gone to that tour, but hopefully probably next year or sometime soon, tours could actually start.
Oh, okay, good. I'm not surprised that you said The Weeknd because of course. Damn.
And I genuinely had that Toliver album, like I was running, like it was those 2 albums, and it kind of. you know, because we were talking about Roy from the JBP. They were talking about how like the end of the last year, I mean the end of the year albums, how you kind of don't sit with them, so you're not sure kind of like where to place them.
Yeah.
And I feel like those two albums that I named, I had so much time with them. I feel like I had them since March or
Yeah.
like early quarantine. I really feel like because I was really in my bag with those.
I agree. One of the Tiana Taylor one was one of those projects for me, as well as the Chloe and Halle one. I remember that was when I had just gotten my ring light, so I was practicing my makeup more. It was like deep quarantine at this time, so of course like these projects are going to remind us of the time that we had to quarantine and the pandemic, and of course 2020, that's a year none of us will ever forget. So I'm really excited that this is going to be dropping in 2021.
What do you think was the best verses?
Oh my god, I did actually have that in and on the list. My favorite verses, and I'm willing to die on this hill, will always be the Beanie Man and Bounty Killer one.
Hey, I ain't mad at you on that one. My favorite one, I'm not sure if it was because of how it was or it was the first time me kind of seeing one, and then the new Apple Music thing. I just felt that I right when I said the question, all I could think about was Fab and Jada.
Damn, that was a good one.
I don't know. Was it because me and you were just laughing at everything?
Yeah, it was
you know, we had like a great time watching it.
I think we even rolled up before,
Right,
and then had the
vibe.
vibe, and then we came inside,
And it was the first time they were doing like the DJ thing,
Yeah,
you know, like
uh-huh.
and all that stuff. So,
yes, sir.
so yeah, I would say that for me, I'm gonna look back on it and probably say like, damn, I remember that one.
I really did. I loved the Fab and Jada. I loved actually no, yeah, like that the Bounty Killer,
Okay,
like that one was this because of course we can do the Snoop Dogg one and the DMX one. That was a great one. The Too
Gucci
Short
Jeezy,
and
of course.
Gucci, the
Short and
Rick Ross
40.
one.
Oh yeah, Ross and Change. That one's a good. Damn, that one was really good too.
But you know what? The Beanie Man and Bounty Killer one was the most special one because the police came and tried to shut the thing down.
And that fool told him, hey, "You gonna be
You
that
gonna
guy?
be that guy?
You gonna be that
You
guy?
gonna be that guy?"
No, that was hard.
Yeah. So definitely. So shout out to Versus. I think we
yeah.
said this last episode. Thank you to everybody who's behind Versus. You guys have made the quarantine and all of that just like so much better. You guys brought the culture together, and we were able to celebrate all of these legends that, you know, needed to be celebrated either way. So shout out to everybody in the Verses. I did want to mention a song that dropped that me and Hav both have not stopped listening to, which is Good
Day.
Days by SZA.
By SZA, and don't we need that album more than ever now?
I know. I need a SZA album in 2021, like dead ass serious.
They wanted to ask what movie of the year, but I feel like I haven't seen too many of the year, and I'm a fucking ride with Soul right now.
Yeah, Soul was a great movie.
So-
2020 gave us some Soul, and then another one that I watched was Sylvie's Love, and that one was like a beautiful movie, and I love it. And of course, it was so on brand for me because it was a couple, like a boy and a girl falling in love, talking about music, and then he has to go on tour, and they end up not like being together or whatnot. So it was just like it was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I want to watch both of the movies again, but yeah. So SZA, Good Days is a really good song. Hav and I have just been playing it over and over, and it's just like a feeling that it gives you. I just feel like it takes you to like a good days, but then when you listen to the lyrics, she's saying some like real hardcore shit that it kind of like makes you think like, oh shit, like what?
What bar you relate to the most on that song?
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Good Days, SZA lyrics.
Because mine's is that you know, heavy on my mind. Can you get the heck out? Get some air now. Let you, you know. Oh no, good day on my mind. Safe to step out. No, that's another line. Hold on. And I've been on my empty mind. Oh no, you've been heavy on my mind. Can you get the heck out? I need rest out. Got me bummed out.
I'm gonna have to say the pre-chorus, which is which she says, I try to keep from losing the rest of me. I worry that I wasted the best of me on you, babe.
Oh, slow much right there. Okay, keep on going,
Babe,
okay.
you don't care. Said not trying to be a nuisance. This is urgent. Trying to make sense of loose change. Got me in a war in my mind. Gotta let go of a weight. Can't keep what's holding me. Choose to watch while the world break up in front of me. So It's just an overall really great track. If you haven't already listened to it, definitely has us in our feelings. I've been having to like switch between that song and like other songs because it just becomes too much. It's like it just gets me in my feelings like way too much, and I have to like relax because the last thing I want to do is be in my feelings like that. So yeah, but shout out to SZA for that track. I have been listening to Control a lot lately because of that track. It makes me want to listen to like her and what she has to say, and so I'm really excited for her project. Okay, something that we wanted to touch up on, and it was basically Tory Lanez. So I know Tory Lanez, we know what happened between him and Megan and how it just changed a lot of things, but what we wanted to talk about specifically is about how he was in roots, I guess you can say. He was on his way to possibly having the best year he has ever had in his career.
And probably the best year artist.
That, yeah, like as far as an artist.
Current, or like an artist that's already on.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the growth.
He did the whole quarantine radio. He had people in. People were interested in what he was doing. It was like an everyday type of thing, and people were like listening to his songs more, right? Yeah. And like there was more followers. The music was right there. There was just everything was lining up for it to be the best year for him. And unfortunately, there was an incident that happened that just change the course of that, because people obviously are going to look at you a little different when we find out that you may or may have not shot a woman who we all love. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Might be a little problem with that.
There might be some
drawback from
that. Exactly what you said. So Hav says that he wants a documentary on this, because I honestly personally would also like to know not what happened that night, but kind of like the whole like the rise and fall within a year of Tory Lanez, because I just feel like that's something that I think other artists should take note of and see and be like, don't do this. It is stupid of you to do.
It was like the most shocking thing that happened this year a little bit.
I have to agree.
Well, I mean, saying that in a year that we had, you know, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd and stuff like that, just as far as hip hop goes, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
So, and we're probably not going to touch too much on that, but yeah, that was probably the most shocking thing that happened around hip hop this year.
Yeah.
And then
definitely.
It was kind of the best good feel turned bad story, right? Because that whole quarantine, right? It was kind of like, damn, you know, like shit is going, shit is look where shit is going for this guy, right? The projection of his height, or where he's about to take his career, is about to grow, and
we
then
all saw him like taking the fuck off,
right?
Like it was just like, no, he is doing the best rollout. He's doing the best. Like it was just like everything.
He's cool with all the celebrities, right? Like, you know, like kind of thing.
It was just everything was going in his favor, and unfortunately, and that's a lesson for a lot of us, because it only takes one night for your life to change, whether it be good or bad. It only takes one night only.
And also, like, kind of like the stock, you know, like sometimes a sure bet or whatever, you know, you think is, or you think is en route to happen, you know, sometimes it could be gone, or things could change in a split second.
In a split second, I agree.
Because one, you know, also King Von was going to probably have the best year of his career.
Well, Pop.
We
lost a lot of people,
right?
Like, so, and it sucks because like he didn't pass away, but it's kind of like his career did,
right? Or his moral grounding for us is what passed away.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of like a
little bit.
shifty.
And we ain't judging. We ain't judge, jury, and executioner, or we ain't God out here in this motherfucker. So we don't know exactly what happened, but it's just a weird phenomenon that kind of happened in the industry. And I think it's just something that, like, damn, you know, like, shit. But Tory did drop a new project. Is also how this came up too.
Yeah, Hav said that he's dropped two different projects
since it happened,
since the incident happened, which is crazy.
So he's not slowing down creatively. But it's just very, very interesting, and keeping my eye on, I guess, you know what I mean? It is also a year that we had shit like, you know, 6ix9ine and him coming back.
Oh, right. I forgot that happened.
And all that shit. So, but as far as music goes, I think that was probably like the story, I guess.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Of the year. Yeah, and then even Meg with the, with her coming back with the album, talking about it a little bit more, whole fiasco with her and her friend, like that situation kind of gave a lot of, it gave us a lot.
It did. There was a lot of moving things, and we wasn't ready. So, not to change or to surprise you guys, but 2020 we got Tiger King.
Right. Funny, I was about to go there.
We got Tiger King in 2020, and that was pretty funny to have. All of America was all quarantined, and here comes Netflix with a 10 episode series, like a season or whatever the fuck, of a show called Tiger King. Now, if you're unfamiliar, get familiar with that show. It was insane. It had we were all at the edge of our seat to see what was going to happen with this guy, and like Joe Exotic and that cat lady and like all that shit. Like this was this
Carol
year.
Baskin.
That's crazy because it was like that happened this year. I mean, in 2020. So yeah. So I just wanted to like touch on that like really quickly. I just thought it was so funny how we were all like into this trailer trash and like.
Yeah. Would you recommend it, like, for somebody that hasn't been in 2020 or skipped 2020? Would you recommend to watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good bingeable. What about like The Undoing? Would you recommend someone to watch that? Or?
I would recommend someone for the, because I was like, yeah, I would recommend somebody to watch The Undoing. I would definitely recommend somebody to watch Lovecraft Country. I would also recommend for them to watch the Selena doc.
Hey, okay.
I would say Ratchet was a good one as well.
Cool.
So yeah. So that was really, really cool. Tiger King was funny. It entertained us for a minute there. I did want to touch up on, because we did mention how we've lost a lot of people this year, and Hav did say this name, but someone who has just been on my mind constantly since his passing is Kobe, and even his daughter as well. Like and it's just because like you grow up like seeing Kobe and it's like he's not real, and then when he passes away it's like, wow, this is real. Like, like the person who I felt was immortal is now no longer with us. And I think about his family and like what his wife has gone through, and the older daughter who like understood what happened and all of that stuff, and just the type of strength that Vanessa Bryant has to have like through all of this, and having to show face to her younger daughters that don't know that their father and their sister passed away, and just like even herself having the mama mentality to where she's going to like pick herself up and be the strong woman that she needs to be for her daughters so that they can have an example. Because I personally, if I was with somebody for 20 years, married with them for 20 years, and he passes away, I'm a hot ass mess. I'm like in bed.
Packs pressed over lower London too. Sorry.
Like, yeah, exactly. So it's just like I think about that, and I just look at her, and I just think like, man, we've all had a really tough year, but just imagine that, like, and she's not the only woman who has gone through something like this. Like, I'm sure there are other women who have lost their husbands and their kids at the same time. There's some men who have lost their wife and their kid at birth, like while the wife is giving birth. You know what I mean? Facts, so like, it's just like, I just want to commend all of those people who have gone through that, because yes, we have lost a lot of people because of the virus and because of the pandemic. We have lost so many people. We cannot forget that we have lost people because of heart attacks, because of accidents, because of there's so many accidents, natural causes, or whatever you want to call it. So I don't ever want to forget that. But she's just somebody who just comes to mind when I think of strength. So I did want to mention that, and I did want to talk a little bit about Kobe and like his passing, because I feel like a lot of us have been affected by it, because it was just like I said, like I see it on my Twitter, like I'm still not over Kobe passing away. I'm still like, Kobe, RIP, why'd it had to be him, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a constant thing that I just continue to see all the time. So I just wanted to say it on this first episode of the year. I wanted to point out how yes, RIP to Kobe Bryant and everybody else that we lost this year and everybody that was in the helicopter ride. I just had to bring that up because I just keep thinking about Vanessa, and I don't know what it is. I feel it's maybe just my spirit, like giving her strength from where I am, because she just inspires me so much. Sorry for the extra slap. I did want to say that this year your girl did do online dating. So I've talked about it. Like, it's not something that like, oh, it's the first time I'm talking about this, but I did try online dating in 2020, and it was really dope to do that because I got to like see what kind of like was out there and what would work or what didn't. Yeah. It actually did not work for me. So it was nice to find that out. It was nice to find out that it wasn't for me, because I remember not feeling pressured, but feeling like I kind of had to like take charge of my dating life and kind of like be like, hey, bitch, maybe you should try to really see if you can actually fall in love with somebody. You know what I mean? I always felt like I put dating. Love somebody so much.
We break out in the song here, ladies and gentlemen, if it's your first time listening.
Have you ever needed something?
The Ambition Hour, Love Hour. But yeah, go ahead, keep on going, Claudia, my bad.
Yeah, so I just I decided to do that because I just felt like I had always put my dating life on a back burner, and this year I wasn't like, this year I'm going to focus on dating. It was just like, I wrote last year that it was something that I did want to, that I kept putting in the back burner. So the fact that I took the reins or whatever the fuck and decided to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to date, I'm gonna go on dates, I'm gonna do the whole online dating thing and see how it goes for me. And it was okay. You guys have heard stories, and I ended up deleting the app, ended up canceling my membership with all of that shit. So but the dating life is going very well. So I didn't need.
And in case you were wondering,
I didn't need the. I really didn't need the app. So
Claudia said, "No, fuck that. I'm gonna take control of my dating life."
Exactly. And then it's not like I couldn't when I was on the app. It's just a little different when it happens differently. And I wasn't like, I didn't start doing the dating. I mean, yeah, I'm a hopeless romantic. Like, I believe that I could have found the one on the app. Like, it could have happened, because I've seen people do it. There have been success stories. Like, they're not playing when they say that this shit is real. You know what I mean? Like, it's real out here.
Right. Well, you have anything else to say before I ask you a question?
No, go ahead and ask me the question.
So with that being your favorite part on this Good Day song, right? I try to keep from losing the rest of me. I worry that I wasted the best of me on you. Now, is that a sentiment that you wholeheartedly feel, Miss Claudia?
Can you say it one more time?
I worry that I wasted the best of me on you.
And you're asking me if that's something that I worry about.
Is that something that really resonates with you? Have you felt that way before? Do you feel that way, right? And going into a new relationship because your past may have hurt you in a way that made you probably maybe not look forward for the next thing, right?
Yeah. I do. It does resonate with me, because one of the reasons why I was always so afraid of falling in love or dating, period, was because of I don't want to give my best days or like my best to somebody and they're just going to end up being a fucking stranger. Like, I don't want that. Like, I don't have the type of energy. I don't have the type of time for that. Like, it's just, it is that. And I know that when in the last relationship that I was in, that was something that I felt like, wow, I felt like I really spent my good days on you. Like, I wasted them on you. But I'm only getting better, so it's not that much of a good like, I feel it and it speaks to me, but at the same time I'm always thinking of growth, and there's always going to be like a better part of me anyway. So
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I guess that's something that I also want to say is that yeah, like I do feel that not to go back to the song, but also this is a little bit more generic on relationships because I think it's a sentiment that we all felt before either that, right? Worried about damn, but did I give the best of me to this last person, right? And then maybe that can even fuck you up a little bit about your confidence wise, right, or your approach because you're like, damn, my best of me was I just gave it to this person,
definitely.
And that person told me it wasn't enough, right? But the heavy in my mind, can you get the heck out? I need rest now, got me bummed out, right? So back to help us romantic, I'm one as well, so I guess it's something in the blood, Claudia. But that right there is because, bro, like, someone could just have so much real estate in your mind, and
I hate it.
Yes, Claudia. Yes, this is the emotion I want. Yes,
I fucking hate it. I do not like that. I am constantly thinking about a specific person. Like, there's times where I just, like, literally, I just take a nap because I am so tired.
Because you need rest.
Because I'm so tired of thinking of this person.
Because you need rest. Yeah, facts. Yeah. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. So I mean, if you felt that way, or that's why probably this song is just so great, but because it's relatable, and I think all of us have either felt one way or another. But we still believe in good days, right? And we needed this vibe.
Definitely
for the end of the year.
Definitely. I stan you, SZA. One day you'll be here. Don't worry. We'll be having this conversation side by side. Okay, so online dating was cool. It was fun. Do it if you've never tried it.
Yeah, I also tried it myself too.
He did.
Not for me. I don't know, but also maybe I just didn't have the best, opening line. But I don't know. Like we were talking about this a little bit earlier too. Like I've never been someone to like. I let things happen natural.
Definitely. I'm the same way.
Or
and with online dating, it's not that it's not natural. It's just like. That's not really how you meet people. Like,
right, yeah.
This isn't really how I thought I was going to meet the love of my life, or at least the person I was going to date.
Right. Or like even, bro, like that's why even I like when it comes from a referral, as I like to call it. Like someone knows, you're like, oh no, I know, right? Because like
I know Shawty,
I know her,
she chill,
right? Or like, oh, or why don't you should talk to my friend, like that type of stuff. I like a little bit more organic, or kind of like maybe you just met each other and it wasn't to impress each other from off rip.
Yeah, it was like
how I look at it back on the past is just, or how I look back at it in the past is more like, damn. My relationships, the most successful ones, is kind of a natural flow.
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't so much of like, let me put my good face on for this person.
Definitely.
It was, so, and that's how I feel like it could be on the app. And I don't know if I'm fucking talking to the fucking person that you say you are.
No, that's right.
So, right? Or I don't know, bruh.
I really went out with men that I had never spoken to, like, on FaceTime.
Right. Like.
That was crazy of me. I mean, I had their Instagram, so that's a little different. And we have Instagram, so thankfully. But, like, I really did that. And,
weird.
Yeah, something that I have to just point out, like what Ha was saying, like the whole natural thing is like, I am in the situation that I am now because I was literally just minding my business.
That's what Claudia be telling y'all to mind y'all business. Mind your business on your business.
Yeah, just literally, like, I knew I liked this person, but I just minded my business. Like, I didn't push it. I didn't nothing. I did a little, like, I would like talk in the DMs or respond to like comments or things like that, but like I never personally slid in the DM and was just like, it was more along the lines of like, it just happened. Like, it literally just happened. So, yeah. You don't have to really force it if it's really meant to be. So,
were there any good pickup lines or start off messages asking for a friend?
No.
That you can remember from online? Okay.
I don't remember none of them.
Or one that was better than just a hey, or like, I was like, oh, that was a interesting way or a unique way to kind of get my attention.
What I always liked was when they would respond in a voice memo. I automatically, like, as soon as I would see somebody respond in a voice memo, I automatically liked that, like, a little bit.
The podcaster liked voice messages. Who would have thunk?
I like hearing voices.
Yeah, Claudia, a voice for Claudia is like big. It's like the biggest thing.
Like, I have to, like, love your voice. Like, how am I going to, like, really have a serious conversation with you when you over here sounding like, I don't fucking know, Barney?
Yeah, I forgot. I'm forgetting what rapper it is. Claudia still gave that man a tough time because of his voice. He's like,
it's fucking Dave East.
That voice.
That's who the rapper is, huh? I fucking think he is so fine. I would never date him because I do not like his voice. Shout out to Dave East. You can definitely come on the podcast, but as far as like us, no. look at me setting myself up with Dave East.
Okay.
So another thing that I wanted to speak on really quickly is I finished 2 of my journals. So I'm sharing this because I think it's important. I'm always talking about journals and journaling and all this stuff, and I have so many journals and I start them and I don't finish them. So I had these 2 that I was gifted and I was so close to finishing them. So I was just like, you know what? By the end of the year, I'm going to finish them. And I literally today have as my witness. I finished it today, but I finished it with a list of 20 things that I was grateful for. So I did want to mention that because I think that is so important, is just like writing down what you're grateful for. I wrote down the 20 things that I was grateful for in 2020. Last year, what I did, I wrote 19 things that I was grateful for in 2019. So guess what? Next year, it'll be 21 things that I'm grateful for 2021.
21. Oh, shout out to 21. That album too.
That album was really good too. I'm sorry that we haven't mentioned it.
Yeah.
I didn't really listen to it, so I don't want to speak on it like that.
Right. That's also kind of why I wasn't mentioned. Now that you say that, Claudia, you're so smart.
But I do know that a lot of people really enjoyed it and gave it a lot of praise. So shout out to Savage for his project. Also with Metro Boomin.
Yeah.
So
Also Meek dropped the project too, so shout out to him. Again, another one that I didn't really listen to too much, not because not for no reason, just didn't get to it yet. But his presence was felt. Their presence was felt this year.
Yeah, I agree.
Playboy Cardi dropped too. Well, we haven't talked about that. Claudia, not the biggest Playboy Cardi fan. I'm gonna see. We got her on Uzi this year, so bear with me, guys. Hopefully, maybe I can work something out.
Yeah, I became a Uzi fan this year, so
it's possible. It could happen.
So it is possible. It could happen. Okay, something that Jav and I were speaking on the other day was how some women, they want to be in a relationship with a man who is going to fight or shoot someone for them. And something that I said, and I feel like I just have to share it now because it was just such a great conversation. It's just like, do y'all want boyfriends or do y'all want security guards? Because like at the end of the day, like, yes, I want to feel safe with my man and I want to feel secure, but I also don't want him to get in a lot of trouble because of me. You know what I mean? But I also,
because she ain't waiting for you when you get in prison. I'm kidding.
Well,
I'm joking.
I'm saying more along the lines of just kind of like, number one, I would just hope and pray that I myself never get that out of character that my man has to fight another person for me or even like bring the gun out to fucking like do what needs to get done type of thing. You know what I mean? Like I try this whole year, guys, I promise you, I only popped the fuck off once.
All right. Okay. Sure.
What were you going to say?
No, I don't know. I'm just teasing you.
No, because I literally just popped off for like the first time yesterday. I feel like my patience has been being tested the past couple of days and I don't like that.
Also, they was trying you, Claudia?
You saw me. You saw me like go crazy. And then there was another and then there was an incident earlier in the day, so I'm just like, yo, I don't know what the fuck. The Lord is testing me right now and I don't like it because sometimes like I want to choose violence. Me and Detta were talking about that one time. We were just like, because me and Detta were very like peaceful women. Shout out to Detta. We're very peaceful women and we like to keep the peace and we like to be calm and we like to all this shit and people always expect that from us, but sometimes a bitch want to motherfucking choose violence. I'm tired. I'm tired of always being the good one. I'm tired of being the one who always turns the cheek. Sometimes, like, I do want to choose violence, but I don't. So yeah, I did want to say that at one time this year, I did pop. Well, in 2020, I popped the fuck off. So whatever. I really don't care. I take it as it is. I take it as a learning lesson. I take that I am still working on that. Like, I'm still working on that part of me of like the keep it cool. You know, it ain't that serious. Like, you don't gotta get that out of character. So yeah. So I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions. I just think you should just always be trying to become better anyway.
Facts.
Something that
maybe why we made a podcast about it.
Yeah, like, I just think that, like, you know, at this point in my life, like, I just am going to continuously find new ways to grow and to become a better version of myself. So I guess you can call them New Year's resolutions, whatever it is. I like the next in 2020, I just see so much big things happening for the podcast, and I'm really excited to just see it all come into fruition for myself, for Hav, for everybody that's involved. I'm getting ready to wrap up the episode because I just feel like we have given you guys so much awesome stuff the past couple of episodes. We gave you guys some long episodes, almost 2 hours for some episodes. I do want to say thank you to all the people that came on the podcast this year. I would name all of you, but I don't want to leave anyone out because I just don't think that that's fair. So shout out to all the guests that we had this year. Shout out to Worth the Wait, like, just Worth the Wait Records, like, everybody on the label.
Shout out my Dove family.
Yeah, everybody who just supports us. I want to say thank you to my parents. I want to say thank you to you guys. This is just like a really grateful episode because I'm just so grateful that we're ending the year this way and we're starting it in a, like, a very positive mind frame. And I just hope that all of you guys have an amazing 2021. It's the first Saturday of the year. So make sure that you are mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of what it is that you want to get better at. It doesn't necessarily have to be a New Year's resolution, but we all know what we need to work on, what needs to get fixed. If we're procrastinators, we need to work on that, yeah. Etc. So
works, yeah.
So just like focus on that, focus on yourself. Remember that people are always going to be doubting you or talking shit about you or always wanting to start drama, but it's up to you, and ultimately you're the one who has the power to say no to anything. I've said this before, no is a complete sentence, and I will continue to say that. So yeah, no is a complete sentence. So get the fuck up out my face, bitch. I wanted to end it with this. Thank you, Hav. I wanted to end it with this quote, which is, you cannot finesse a good person. You only finesse yourself out of having access to them. Shout out to Biggs Burke for posting that on his Twitter. Shout
out Biggs, man. Motivation.
Definitely.
Facts, yeah.
I am so
who are, my bad, Claudia, I know you're repping. Well, go ahead, finish reading. Who are some people that you go for inspiration or that inspire you type shit?
Definitely Biggs Burke.
Yeah, definitely him. I'm gonna say Pharrell.
I would say, okay, so Biggs Burke, I definitely go to my church's Instagram. Somebody else that I also go to is Damon Dash.
Right.
I also, of course, the Joe Biden podcast.
Right.
Recently, the people who have been like inspiring me like crazy has been the 85 South show. They do live shows and I'm just like floored the way that they do their live shows. And then they also do like this called 80 Vibe, and they basically like have artists come on and perform, and this is like a podcast, and they have like that type of thing. It's like another branch of their production company or whatever. So yeah, definitely like those are platforms. And of course like Drink Champs. I'm trying to think of what else, but I feel like those are just the people. I also like on Twitter, I follow as many positive accounts as I can that are always talking about uplifting yourself and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, guys. Well, we have reached the end of it's the end of the show. I was about to freestyle a song, but I think I'm just gonna pass.
We here, man. Thank you guys, every single person that's watched an episode. Like Claudia said, all the guests that came by. Man, we still fucking here, Claudia. 100 episodes in this hoe.
We're about to celebrate our 3-year anniversary, so be
Yeah.
on the lookout for that episode. We appreciate you guys. Remember, we are still in a motherfucking pandemic, so make sure that you wash your hands, wash your ass, mind your business, drink your water, and for the 153rd time in a motherfucking row, it's your girl, Claudia Renee, on your airwaves with my co-host, Have 600, and
Yo.
we are out of here.
It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby. It's the ambition hour, baby.